Police want to talk to two men after a woman and her two daughters were found dead in their West Side home this afternoon.
And more kids are coming forward with accusations after a California man was arrested for traveling to Tell City for sex.
It's beautiful right now, but we could see some frost later on tonight. I'll be back with my forecast coming up.
You're watching WTVW Evansville. This is Fox 7 News at 6.
Shock and sadness in the West Side Evansville neighborhood tonight. Good evening, I'm Randy Moore.
And I'm Jackie Monroe. The woman and her two little girls hadn't been seen since Sunday. Today, police found their bodies in their home in the 1300 block of Cumberland. Fox 7's Sarah Brownlee is live on the scene and joins us now with the latest.
Well, Jackie, the coroner has finally arrived on the scene, and detectives behind me at the address 1315 Cumberland Avenue are processing a very active crime scene. The bodies are still inside. Police are investigating this as a triple homicide, but say they have not ruled out anything. Police have not released the names, but neighbors tell Fox 7 that the mother inside was Donna Claspel, and that her daughters were 13-year-old Avery Pike and 8-year-old Sydney Pike. Police are on the lookout for two white males in connection to the killings, acquaintances of the mother, but they're not calling them suspects. Police have also yet to release how the three women were killed or a motive. Police found the three bodies of a mother and her two daughters in this West Side Evansville home at around 12:30. They were called to do a welfare check.
The mother of the female resident had not spoken to her daughter since Sunday. She was concerned there had been some possibly emotional problems. And
Neighbors say they last saw the mother and her girls on Monday afternoon. Police are now looking for two white males who knew the victims but aren't calling them suspects.
They drive a dark gray with a gray vinyl top, 80s to 90 Crown Victoria, and we're looking for that car. We've notified Vincennes, Knox County. There's been some mention of possible narcotics involvement, and we had our narcotics that comes out here to see if the car, the names, anything matched with anything they might have in their database to help.
Residents are in shock, some physically ill, knowing their neighbors right next door were killed.
It devastates me. I mean, I was here last night with my granddaughter. You know, it really devastates me.
Neighborhood children are mourning the two youngest victims. The EVSC had a crisis team out on the scene, helping them cope.
One went to Daniel Words. I know she was in elementary, and the other one was in middle school. Very nice, very friendly little girls.
She's kind, sweet, invited us to her birthday party.
You hear about it all the time. You read about it in the paper every day, but you don't think it could happen next door to you. But I'm here to tell you it can. It did.
Again, Coroner Don Irk and Deputy Coroner Annie Groves just pulling up, presumably to take away these bodies after detectives get finished processing the crime scene. And as I mentioned, the EPD has contacted Vincennes and Knox County Police on the lookout for two white males. They say their first names are Mike and Daniel, believed to be driving in a late 80s, early 90s gray Crown Victoria with a dark gray vinyl top. On the scene, a coroner has arrived, still processing emotionally and physically this triple homicide. Back to you.
All right, Sarah, thank you.
As this news of the triple homicide continues to surface, many questions are left unanswered. Fox 7 has learned Donna Claspel was treated for drugs just weeks ago, and some are wondering if those problems led to this tragedy.
Fox 7's Kelly Quinn spent the day learning more about the family. Kelly?
Well, Jackie and Randy, I spoke just a little bit ago with Terry Gamlin from Howell Baptist Church. He's a reverend, and he says that both the little girls went to his Wednesday night services and that they were just darling little girls. But he did not know the assumed mother, who is Donna Claspel, and he says he didn't really know about any drug problems, but Fox 7 has actually learned otherwise. According to court records, Claspel was charged with domestic battery, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest just back in February. This after an incident with her apparent boyfriend, Walter Burgess. We're told that Claspel then entered Stepping Stones, which is a treatment facility, on March 31st, and then was transferred to a residential facility just 5 days later. But the court records say that she left that facility on April 10th, just 2 weeks ago. This was against staff advice. I also spoke a little bit ago with a former co-worker of Claspel's from Azteca Milling, who says that back then, which was the mid-90s, she was dealing with some drug problems then. So, like I said, quite a few people think that that may have had something to do with this, but Officer Brian Talisma is saying that at this point they are not sure. They are still looking into it. As you can see, the mobile command center is here, and as Sarah Brownlee said, the coroners have arrived. We will continue to stay on the scene here in Evansville, and we'll have the very latest for you tonight on Fox 7 News at 9.
The search is on for a 2-year-old girl who was allegedly abducted by her father from Seymour, Indiana this afternoon. Andrea Evans was last seen at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and is believed to be in extreme danger. She was wearing a yellow dress and strawberry shortcake shoes. The Seymour Police Department reports that Andrea was likely abducted by her father, 45-year-old Thomas Evans. He's described as a white male, 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing 185 pounds with brown hair and eyes. He's believed to be driving a brown 1991 Toyota Corolla. Evans is being considered armed and dangerous. For more information, log on to our website at WTVW.com. Tonight at 9, we'll have a special report on how the Amber Alert system works.
The Republican race for state representative in District 78 is heating up. With less than a week until the primary, there's controversy surrounding Suzanne Crouch's voting record. Last week, challenger John Fulton handed out flyers with a copy of Crouch's voting record showing Crouch is pro-choice. The information came from password-protected parts of the Republican National Committee's website. Crouch says she is not and never has been pro-choice, but she doesn't think Fulton is to blame for the changes on the website.
Very frightening, not only for me, but for all people that are involved in campaigns and for all of our citizens.
We felt like we needed to respond on the pro-life side of things. And so, yes, last Sunday we released information from that database, and a couple hours later the database changed.
The GOP is looking into this incident. And coming up tonight at 9, we'll have a closer look at the two candidates and where they stand on issues like family, jobs, and health care.
Next week's Indiana primary is expected to put the state's new voter ID law to the test. BMV branches are usually closed Mondays, but Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles spokesman Greg Cook says they will be open next Monday and offer extended hours Tuesday so people can pick up identification cards prior to voting. He says the agency isn't sure how many people will be looking for IDs on primary day. Customers needing state-issued identification cards will get priority service both days, but licensed branches will try to serve all customers that come through the door.
Tell City Police now think more than a dozen local kids were targeted by an alleged online predator. Fernando Calderon was arrested Saturday night at Tell City Days Inn after a clerk noticed him spending time with a local 12-year-old boy. Police say they found video equipment and several homemade DVDs of child pornography in Calderon's possession. Now they are interviewing several students at the local junior high school. As many as 15 may have had contact with Calderon. According to investigators, those kids may have viewed pornographic images or sent X-rated pictures to him by email. Now, school officials are trying to help students through this confusing and potentially damaging time.
You know, it is I hate to say this, but it's a teachable moment. Every time some sort of tragedy occurs in any sort of community, you know, people need to react to this. And because it does involve children our age, it does directly involve our school, we think it's our responsibility.
Tell City Police Chief Dave Falkenberg says they're working with the FBI to analyze computers taken from some of the kids' homes to see just how many children may have been targeted. Fernando Calderon is behind bars in the Perry County Jail on a $500,000 bond.
Comfortably cool today.
Gosh, it's nice out there right now. Let's check in with Ron Rhodes, and he's outside.
Oh, it's an absolutely beautiful evening. It's good for getting out here, rolling up your sleeves and working. And that's John Bassmeyer. You know, he's out. Look, the man himself is out here. It's the backyard makeover. They're working on the brick patio. They're making it bigger, Randy. I think if we get a little bit more brick here, we might be able to go one-on-one. We put a little basketball goal up there in the back. We'll be looking pretty good. Unfortunately, the temperature's not looking good. If you planted tomatoes, you got them out there in your garden, we've got a chance for a little bit of frost out there tonight as the temperature's going to drop quickly. Mainly clear right now. That's going to be the case throughout the night. Just a few clouds overhead, not much wind. Temperature dropping quickly from where it is right now. In fact, we'd be below 50 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. On our way down to an overnight low here in Evansville of 38 degrees. Some locations will be in the mid-30s. Keep in mind that's at eye level where we measure temperature out at the airport and really across the area. So the cold air pools down around the ground. It could be a few degrees colder than that. Might hit that freezing mark. Could see a little bit of spotty light frost. Not a hard freeze, but something to concern yourself with if you got any tender young plants out there. I'll be back. I'll be hanging out near the hammock or maybe in the hammock coming up the main weather in a few minutes, guys.
I was going to say, forget basketball. I just want to spend some time in that hammock.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, speaking of basketball, move over men's basketball. A new force has emerged on the USI sports scene. Rick Peltier will have the story later in sports.
And don't be surprised if you see orange ribbons tied to cars around out and about this week. We'll explain why next on Fox 7 News at 6.
Toyota's April countdown is on. For 5 days only, you can count on taking an extra $750 off your best deal, over and above all other factory incentives. Get $750 off any new 06 Corolla, Matrix, Solara, or Sienna. Get $750 off any new 06 Tacoma or Tundra, or $750 off any of these new 06 Toyota SUVs. Don't get counted out of the savings. See Don Moore Toyota or Hudson Toyota before it all ends May 1st. Toyota, moving forward.
First, we made LASIK better with Custom View. Then we made LASIK more affordable with our $1,000 savings. Today,